Aloha and welcome to our Wednesday night concealer class. My name is Malia Boersma. We're going to be talking a bunch of concealer tips as well as some information on clean beauty tonight. So let's go ahead and get started and try to keep this nice and short. Before you even begin your makeup, including your concealer, you want to make sure that your skin is prepped. You want to make sure your skin is clean, toned, moisturized, and you want to go ahead and use an eye cream. And I want to emphasize eye cream because a lot of us use concealer for this area. I like to use this Counter Match Eye Rescue cream for daytime because it's a lot lighter and it absorbs in. So I just am going to take a little bit and dab that under my eyes. You want to use eye cream with your ring finger and avoid any tugging. So I'm really just sliding this lightly without any pressure and moisturizing that under eye area so that you're not applying makeup to dry skin, especially concealer. And then an optional step would be to even your skin with foundation. I think I'm going to not do that tonight because I'm going to show you different ways to use concealer to brighten, to bronze slash contour, and then also for coverage. And I don't know if this is giving you a really clear picture, my camera on my computer versus my phone. But you want to notice where your skin moves and where those lines are. We want to try to avoid getting a lot of product in these areas. This area rather does not move. As we begin to get those fine lines and wrinkles, we want to avoid putting a lot of product there because it's going to begin to crease and look cakey. So let's start off with brightening the under eye area. I'm not going to go a whole lot into color correcting. A lot of people use a more peach toned. Hi, welcome. A lot of people use a more peach toned color to cover up this eye area because peach is the opposite shade of like purple. So we're going to, my best salmon slash peach tone is this Paloma. This is actually our Cheeky Clean Cream Blush. And I did try this by mixing a little bit of this peach color with our concealer. I'm going to put a little bit of the peach tone on the back of my hand. You don't have to do this, but this is just for color correcting, or you can get a color corrector. And then what I'm going to do, most of us, for brightening, you want to use a concealer that is 1 to 2 shades lighter than your skin tone. And so I have medium 1, which is actually a little bit too light. And then I have medium 3. So I'm going to use this shade. And instead of just placing it here, because that's going to put a bit too much product, I'm going to put it on my hand and I'm going to mix it in a little bit with this peach color. And I'm going to mix those together, and that's going to give me a more peachy shade concealer for brightening and color correcting under my eyes. So instead of doing a big triangle of concealer here, or even instead of directly dabbing a load, like taking your applicator and putting a load of concealer, what I found is if you just put it right here in your inner eye area, and then you just tap that out, because that's going to blend out a little bit. And then using your finger also warms the product and helps it to really melt into your skin. That's going to really, really brighten. And I'll show you guys a comparison once I get this kind of in. I don't know if this is showing you a difference. Can you see in the light? This eye is so much brighter than this side. Hi, Ilana. I don't know if your thing is on mute. Can you try to mute it for me? If not, I'm having a hard time with my view right now. So that is one way. Otherwise, the old-fashioned way, which kind of still works. Let me look for that medium 3. Again, just place it Don't do it all down here. It's just going to be too much product. You're going to place it right here, kind of where your tear duct is. And then just start dabbing it there. Uh-oh, did I freeze? I froze in my camera. Oh no. And then I'm dabbing, dab, 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 dab. You can see, I don't know if you can see the difference as I'm doing this. That's really brightening that area. You can also take a wet beauty blender, squeeze out the water, and dab that in. So that really brightens the under eye area. And then you can go in with more if you want. But this has been my best way to apply creamy concealer. And this way also, you use less product, so you're not going to be wasting product. So this, I think, is a really genius hack. Putting just a dot on the back of your hand and applying it with your finger just in those tear ducts area, and then dabbing it and letting that kind of just blend down. Because usually we have these hollows here that are our dark areas. So go ahead and try that. Let me see. That's brightening the under eye area. Use the product as needed. And then if you want to set it, use very, very little powder. The less product, the better. So I'm going to take our mattifying powder, just a tiny bit. And I have two different brushes. I usually like to use this one because it's my softest brush, because I don't want to pack any product on. This one is pretty soft and smaller. So I'm going to take a super light dusting of powder. I'm going to make sure I've dabbed it so there's nothing hanging out in any creases or lines. I even like to kind of press down a little bit. I'm not pulling it. I just press, giving a little pressure, and then just a light dusting of powder just to set that makeup. And then I'll do the same on the other side. Make sure, like, I'm doing this so that it's not crunched up, because then it's going to set crunched up. I'm just putting a little pressure and doing that there. So to prevent creasing, you want to use that thinner consistency, again, with the back of your hand instead of loading a lot of product on. Now let's go ahead and talk about using concealer to lift. Again, with that shade that is 1 to 2 shades lighter than your skin tone. Where did I put it? My medium one. Sorry, I have like 6 shades right here. My medium 3, I'm sorry. What you can do, this is kind of a more new hack, is you're going to take from the corner of your eye, you're going to draw a little line up there. You're going to do one by your nose and then by your mouth, because this is going to draw attention upwards. This is going to give you a bit of a lift. And then you can take a brush. This is a great concealer brush for really precise. Tapping in. I like to dab it in place. And then I also like to take a beauty blender to kind of soften it in. And this is going to draw up these areas here. So that is using concealer to lift. Concealer to cover. And I don't know if you guys can see, I have redness here from just being out in the sun a few days. This is where you're going to use your concealer shade that matches your skin tone. For the brightening, we use 1 to 2 shades lighter. I'm going to use a matching shade like Tan Zero. And I don't really have any blemishes right now. I do have like this little beauty spot here and just some redness. This concealer is medium to full coverage and very pigmented, so you need very little product. So there's 3 different ways you can go ahead and go in for coverage. You can use your finger and just dab in place, especially if you're trying to cover like a spot, like a blemish or a beauty spot. I would just take my finger and dot it in. You can also use, again, a small like concealer brush and dot things in place. Or you can go ahead and take a sponge and blend that in. This shade is looking a little light on me, probably because I have a tan, because I went to the beach like 4 times this week. And that's gonna give you your coverage for anything that you want to cover up. I actually tend to just be really sloppy with it. I'm gonna take a darker shade, tan 2. I like to and just draw some lines and use a brush to feather it out. I think using a brush offers you the most full coverage application. You can see that. I'm not taking it anywhere else but in these spots, but I'm feathering it and I'm feathering it. That was what, like 2 dots? This gives you really, really good coverage. I hope you guys can see that. So we talked about brightening, lifting, coverage, and then we're gonna do concealer as bronzer. Well, I have a little bit of concealer of the lighter shade here. You're gonna take a shade that is 1 to 2 shades darker than your skin tone if you want to use your concealer as a creamy liquid bronzer. Because this is super, super dark, sometimes I just mix it in with a lighter shade. And then again, if you put it directly on your skin, it's going to be a lot of product, a lot of pigment. This is a great way to soften the application. I'm just dotting this on. Soften the application and make it a little, I'll show you the difference here. When I put it up here, it's really dark. I hope you guys can see that in this lighting at night. And then just like we did before, you can use your fingers, a brush, or a beauty blender. I like to just, La'akea, you need to stay out of the office for now. And blend this out. Sorry, I forgot that my kids were gonna be home on spring break when I planned this. Again, adding more color as you need to. If you like a darker, I'm not even using, if you like a darker contour. And now it's starting to rain. So currently Beautycounter does not have our own bronzer. So this is a great substitute. You can go ahead and contour your nose, your jawline, your chin, but that does it. You can see the dimension in my skin, hopefully, with that bronzing done. Yeah. Okay. The next thing is, so talking about these specifically, those were general concealer tips. Talking about Skin Twin Creamy Concealer. So this is a long wearing formula that works double time by diffusing the imperfections and the signs of fatigue for brighter looking skin, which our powerhouse ingredients like knotgrass extract help to support the appearance of smoother, firmer skin over time. So this is a really good for you concealer. Again, it is medium to full coverage. We use this superfruit avocado coated pigments in this formula. And then with the skincare benefits, that knotgrass extract is going to visibly reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. It's going to boost skin smoothness. If you are connected with me on Instagram, I kind of do this hack where I just use concealers for my whole face, no foundation, and it looks really, really good. This is not like a heavy, cakey formula. Like it's undetectably going to conceal, seamlessly blend for a weightless, breathable, natural looking finish. And it really doesn't settle or crease and all of that into your fine lines and wrinkles. I'm 41. This is a great formula for those of us with more mature skin. And then I want to briefly talk about the safety piece. So our concealers are fragrance-free. We don't formulate with any artificial fragrances. We do not include mineral oils, cyclic silicones, retinol palmitate or synthetic film formers, which might be linked to harmful effects for human health. Let's see. We're also responsibly sourcing our ingredients like palm. And then I wanted to share with you folks just some ingredients you might want to look out for. BHA, BHT are chemical compounds used as antioxidants and preservatives in some cosmetics. So these are things you want to look for on your ingredient list if you're checking for safety. Formaldehyde and formaldehyde releasing preservatives are still found in some cosmetics. Of course, parabens, fragrance, PEGs. If you see petrolatum or petroleum jelly, when it's unrefined, that can actually contain toxic chemicals. Silicones, triclosan. I know those are really boring terms, but we want to encourage you guys to be using safe products. These things are going to be sitting on your skin all day. Some products that pair really well with this concealer is either our Dew Skin Tinted Moisturizer or our Skin Twin Featherweight Foundation. Those are a really great base. And then you can use your concealer just for those little touch-ups like the brightening or the bronzing or that extra coverage. So those pair really well together and actually come in our Flawless in 5 set together. You also saw me using our mattifying powder. If you are more oily skin type and you want to mattify, this is a clean powder. And those are great to go along with the concealer. We actually have a promotion going on right now through Sunday, is that the 28th, where you get free shipping on any $50 orders. So if you were to grab a concealer and one other thing, you would get free shipping on that. If it is your first time shopping with Beautycounter, you can save 20% on your entire order with the code CLEANFORALL20. And then we have actually another promotion going on in March because Beautycounter turned 10 years old this month. If you go ahead and get our Band of Beauty membership, which is our perks program, you are also going to receive a welcome gift that has travel size of 2 of our hero products. You're gonna get 10% credit back on your order for your next order. And you guys enjoy all those perks for a year. I'm gonna try to wrap this up because I hear the rain getting louder. I will post the replay of this to YouTube and include 10 more concealer tips so that we don't take up too much time. I know I've been talking for a while. If anyone has any questions, you can drop it in the chat box. But other than that, I hope those are some helpful tips to help you brighten under eye, bronze, get extra coverage with some really skin loving and good for you products. Go back to the consultant who invited you to watch this if you have any questions. And thanks so much for joining us. Take care, everybody. Aloha.